Welcome to the Vertex form equation to standard form equation lesson. So today, I'm just going to clarify what each of those mean, and then we'll go about converting one to the other. We've been studying the vertex form for a little bit now, where we've been, looking at the step pattern, looking at, what does it go left, does it go right, does it go up or down, and vertical stretch and compression and all that stuff. So we've been looking at equations that look like this, and we've been graphing them and analyzing them and so forth, okay? So today we want to change the vertex form to standard form. So I graphed this one here in Desmos, and just showing you here that this is what it looks like when you put in this equation into Desmos. Now, if you now look at this equation, it looks different. You do still see the, the exponent 2 and so forth, but you have some, you don't have any brackets, and, the number at the end is different and so forth. So, but when you actually put this one in, it is the exact same graph as the one over here. Okay, so I want to show you how to get to this form called the standard form today, just by using our skills of, FOIL and area model to get to here. And and then if you can do that, you're successful today, okay? All right, so again, it's going to take some of the tools that we've picked up over the last few cycles. So just to brush up on those, we'll kind of review how to do FOIL again, area model, and then at the same time, we're going to expand these out, change them to the standard form, okay? All right, so the vertex form, you always see the bracket, and then, a number out here, and maybe a number in front. The standard form, you won't see the brackets, and you'll see like the x squared and the x, and then just the one without the x at the end, okay? All right, so let's get to the first example here. I'm going to start with the FOIL method, and then we'll move to the vertex form. So you're going to start with a question, a quadratic, where it's in vertex form. So I know this one looks slightly different, but it has the brackets and it's squared. And we're going to have to get to the standard form. So let's start with the FOIL method first. Okay, so for the first one, we want to expand this quadratic out. So in order to expand it, see how it says squared? Don't rainbow in the exponent 2. Don't ever do that. What I want you to do is, that when things are squared, you can write them twice. So that's what we're going to do first here. So we're going to write it as y equals x plus 6 times x plus 6. Okay, so it's the same as like, when you see, 3 squared, you could write it 3 times 3 like that. Okay, so we're just expanding it out so we can multiply. All right, so now that we have a binomial times a binomial, so binomial times binomial, you need to multiply them out. And so before, like in grade 9, earlier grades, you would rainbow in, but what you're doing right now for this one is you're going to use FOIL, which stands for first, outer, inner, last, okay? Because that's how you'll, it's the reminder of how to calculate all the different calculations here. So there's going to be 4 of them, first, outer, inner, last, okay? So the first one you're going to do is the first. You're going to multiply the first terms together, okay? So that's x times x makes x squared, right? And then the next one that you'll do is the outer, so the outer ones. So the x and the 6th are the outer terms here. So x times 6 becomes 6x, okay? All right, and then we're going to do the inner, so that'll be the 2 inside ones like that. So again, 6 times x makes plus 6x. And the last one, okay, so the last two, 6 times 6 is 36, like that. Okay, all right, so then from there, you're going to clean up any like terms. So you keep writing y equals, because again, we're trying to get to a new equation, so the y is part of it. Okay, so x squared. These two are like terms, so add them up. So 6 plus 6 makes 12x. And 36 is on its own, so you just bring it along. Okay, so now you have it in standard form. So again, if you wanted to look, when it's vertex form, you have the brackets, right? Like that. Standard form, you won't have the brackets anymore, okay, because you multiplied it all out. All right, and so that's all you're doing today. You're just trying to get it from the vertex form to the standard form. Okay, and then once you get to here, stop, and then you're done. Okay, so I'm going to go through and show the next one in FOIL method, and then I'll come back and do the area model altogether, okay? Here's the next one now. So we have -2 multiplied to the bracket here. So we're just, again, going to start off with just writing that bracketed area there twice, okay, because it's being squared by the exponent here. So we're going to write this x minus 7 twice. Okay, so from there, you're going to follow BEDMAS. So BEDMAS says, deal with the brackets first. Okay, nothing that we can do there. Now we're going to deal with the exponent part. So this part here, okay? So what I ended up doing is I wrote it twice. So it's like you're multiplying all these together. So, but I'm going to deal with, like the FOIL part here first, okay? And then I'll take care of the 2 after. So we'll just leave the 2 out there. Okay, so maybe we'll use some square brackets like that, or just regular brackets. Yes. All right. So what you're going to do here is you're going to go first. Okay, just like we did before. So color code it. So we're going to go first. Okay, so that's x times x, which is x squared. Then we're going to do outer. Okay, so that'll be x times -7, so that's -7x. Okay, inner, -7 times x, -7x, and last. Okay, the last two, -7 times -7 is +49. Okay, so we took care of the brackets. We multiplied the binomials together. We left this 2 out here, okay? So we're going to still leave it out there. We're just going to clean up inside of the brackets here. So collect any like terms. So -7 shows up, another -7 shows up. They're on the same team of negatives, so there's -14 of them, right? Like that. And then now we're going to multiply that 2 finally in, okay? So the whole point of standard form is to not have any brackets. So now this -2, this one term here, is going to multiply to everybody inside. Okay, so just multiply that. Don't forget it's a -2. So -2 times, like think of this as being +1, becomes -2x squared. -2 times -14 becomes +28. And then 49 times -2. And then you get, so negative and positive makes -98, like that, okay? That's sort of messy. All right, so there we go. All right, so the main thing is this one was a little bit more complex than the one above because there was a number in front. So I wrote the x minus 7 twice. I FOILed it out, okay? I left that -2 out there. Okay, I cleaned up the bracket here, and then I multiplied the -2 in to get to my final standard form. Okay, so just kind of go bit by bit. Leave that number out here. It always gets confusing when you multiply it in and so forth. So leave it out there, do the FOIL, and then get to the answer. All right, so let's do the next one. Okay, so now on to the third one here, C. Again, we have a quadratic in vertex form, right? We have those brackets and so forth. So, and a lot more stuff stuck onto those brackets. So just got to go through step by step. Okay, so again, I'm going to try to take care of the brackets first. Nothing to do in there. So I'm going to take care of this exponent by writing this x minus 5 twice. Okay, all right, so then from there, we're going to take care of this x minus 5 times x minus 5 first. So what we're going to do is we're just going to leave the 3 outside, okay, and then you can leave the subtract 8 out there as well, okay? So right now we're just going to take care of this x minus 5 times x minus 5, okay, and write it in here. Okay, so leave the 3 and the -8 outside to deal with after, okay? All right, so again, let's use FOIL. So we're going to go first ones together, x times x, x squared. Then we're going to go outer, whoops, why isn't it green? Outer. Okay, so x times -5 is -5x. Inner. Okay, -5 times x is -5x. And last, so -5 times -5, positive 25. Okay, all right, so from there, you want to clean up the brackets first. Okay, so clean up the brackets first, like put these like terms together. Okay, so -5 is -10x. They're on the same team. All right, now what you want to do here is now we want to get this 3 multiplied into the bracket, so we get rid of the brackets, okay? So it's like this step is breaking them all out of jail, the bracket jail, so that the brackets will go. All right, so we're going to multiply that 3 in, so we're distributing it in. So it's in a way, it's like simple FOIL, right? So anything in front, we multiply in. So 3 times like a positive 1x squared here becomes 3x squared. 3 times -10 becomes -30x, like that. 3 times positive 25 is 75. And then that whole process, this whole process here of multiplying the 3 in drops the brackets, okay? And then we're going to write this subtract 8. All right, so we're almost there. Okay, we got all the brackets, got rid of them. Now, remember these last two here are like terms, so we're going to add those together, clean them up, and then we're done. Okay, so the 3x squared and the -30x, they don't have any like terms, so they just carry them along. 75 comes into battle 8, and then there's more positives than negatives, so the positives will win by 67, like that. All right, so now you got it in standard form and you're done. So the main thing, yeah, go through, work through the steps, get rid of the brackets, okay, and then start kind of cleaning stuff up, cleaning up the like terms and so forth. All right, and we'll go to one more, and then we'll go over the area model way of completing these, just because like half of you like to do it that way, half of you like to do it the FOIL way as well. All right, okay, here's the last one. So same thing, a lot of stuff going on here. This time we have a decimal. It's okay, we can handle it, right? So I'm just going to go through and step by step break through all the brackets, okay? So we have t minus 3 squared. So I'm going to write that twice and then write everything else. Okay, so we're going to leave this 4.9 outside, and we're going to leave this positive 50 outside, and then we're going to foil. These guys into the brackets here, okay? And then we can get them out of the brackets. All right, so the first one is t times t is t squared. Okay, outer is t times -3 is -3t. Okay, then we're doing inner. -3 times t is -3t, and last. Okay, so there we go. -3 times -3 is +9. Okay, so from there, let's now clean up the brackets first, and then we're going to take care of the 4.9 with multiplying it in, and then we'll bring the 50 in, okay? So for now, leave the 4.9 outside the bracket, add up -3 minus -3, -6 altogether, and then we're going to multiply the .9 in, okay? All right, so just take your calculator to these now. Okay, so again, this is a -4.9 times, like there's a 1 here, right? So it'll become -4.9 t squared. All right, the next one is negative times negative makes positive. Okay, so positive 29.4 t. And then negative times positive here becomes negative 4.9 times 9. And then you get 44.1. Okay, and then we add the 50 here. All right, so now we've got all the brackets away and gone. So now the last step is collect these two like terms together. Everything else rewrite. And then a negative comes in, battles the positive. The positive has more players, so 5.9 more players. Think of it that way, I guess. And you are now in standard form. Okay, so that's all we're doing today. So if you're a FOIL person and you are comfortable with FOIL, please go ahead and do that. But remember, go through these same steps. Make sure take the bracket, the part that's in brackets squared, write it twice. Then FOIL it out, right? Clean it up. Then multiply the number that's on the outside in, and then add that number or subtract that number that's over on this end, okay? And then clean it up and then write your answer in standard form. All right, so if you feel confident, you're good, practice some questions and then try the checkpoint, okay? All right, for people that want to see the area model, I'll do that one now. Okay, so still the same goal. We're trying to go from vertex form to standard form, okay? But we're going to use our area model box here to help us out. Okay. All right, so again, you know that when you have something squared, you can write it twice. Okay, like that. So what you're going to do now is you're going to write that on the outside of the square here. Okay, so you have x plus 6 and then x plus 6. Okay, like that. So you're writing the two factors, like say that one went there and then the second one went here. It doesn't matter which way they go. But. All right, so now you're going to go through and you're going to use your box here to help you multiply all the terms out. So you're going to go x times x. So in this box here it becomes x squared. Then the next box here will be x times the 6 here. So 6x. And then we have 6 and x here. 6x. And then the last one is 6 times 6. So 36, okay? So I put the plus there, but if it really bothers you, you could get rid of them like that, okay? So you know to multiply in. So remember, you're multiplying into the box, okay? So now we have to take the what we found out of the box, but before you do that step, I want you to remember these two are always like terms, okay? So when you pop them out, add them up. So let's write that now. So the standard form of this equation is, right, don't forget the y equals. So you're going to write your x squared. You're going to add these two up. Those come next. So 6 and 6 makes 12x. And then the last term c, you write at the end. Okay, so you should always have the x squared first, then the x, then just the one without the x. Okay, all right, so there's the area model method for that. Okay, so what you're gonna move on to the next one. So I want you to keep in mind when you're going through, it's this part here that's in brackets. That's the part you're gonna use in the area model, but then you need to still kind of multiply this -2 at the end as well. Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna rewrite this as this value twice, like that. Okay. So just write it here. Negative, like that. Okay, and let's multiply them in. X times x is x squared. X times -7 is -7x. -7 and x is -7x here. And -7 times -7 is +49. Like that. Okay, and again, so don't forget to add the ones here together because they are like terms. Okay, let's write it out of the box now. So remember, the box was just this bracket part here, okay? So you're going to write y equals -2, and then let's write everything that's in the box. So x squared, we're going to add these two up right away as we're going through. That makes it -14x, and then the last term, which is +49, like that. Okay, and now the 2's out here. That last step is just like this side here. You're going to multiply that 2 in. Okay, and then you get to your final answer in standard form. So this is -2x squared plus 28x, subtract 98. All right, so there we go. Standard form, no more brackets. All right, so basically you're doing the same thing as the FOIL method here for like the, I guess like, the first part you should write it twice, but then this part here, they FOIL it. You'll use the area model, okay? And then you got to pop it back into here and then still. So it's like one step is different, but again, if you're more of a visual learner and this box method really helps organize your calculations, then I want you to use this method and then go into it and then go out of it and then write your final answer, okay? All right, here's the next one. So again, here's the part that you want to use in the box. So you can just even write that right away. Okay, so there's 2 of them. It's squared, right? So it's the same as x minus 5 times x minus 5, like that. Subtract 8. Okay, so we're taking care of this part here right now. All right, so x times x is x squared, x times -5, 5x. -5 times x, -5x. -5 times -5 is 25. Okay, so we have, so again, we are, oops, jumping ahead here. Okay, so we calculated everything into the box that we needed, and then we're making a check here that, oh, these are like terms, so I'm going to bring them out of the box. Okay, but I'm going to bring them out of the box. Remember, we left this 3 behind here. Okay, and we left the negative subtract 8 behind. So those are still coming along here, but now we've taken care of this x minus 5, x minus 5. So we're going to take it out of the box here. Okay, you can add these 2 like terms up and then get to your third term here, 25. And then now it's back together with the 3 and then subtract 8. Okay, all right, so from there, we need to take care of the multiply the 3 in first. Okay, we're distributing it in. And then we can take care of the subtract 8. Okay, so again, very similar steps as before, but we're just, the second step is different, okay? All right, and then almost there, keep cleaning up any like terms, and then you have your final answer there. Okay, so I recommend learning both methods so you can kind of do it one way and then you can check with the other way. And if you get the same answer, then you know you've completed it right. All right, and to the last one with the decimal. So again, same thing. This x minus 3 is the part you're going to use in the area model here. Okay, so let's just do that right now. So we wrote it down the outside there. Now we're going to multiply into the box. Okay, -3t, so -3 times t is -3t, and then -3 times -3 is +9. Okay, and then now that we've taken care of this here, we're going to take it out of the box and rewrite it. And again, reminder, add these up. Okay, so the -4.9 stays outside. Now we're going to write everything in the box in here. Okay, so t squared. 3 and 3 negative makes -6 plus 9. Okay, so there, everything's coming out of the box. Now write everything that we left behind, so the -4.9 and the +50. All right, so from here, let's multiply that 4.9 in. and distribute it all through all parts of the bracket here inside the bracket. And then remember the brackets drop in the next step. Okay, so this distributive step gets rid of the brackets. Okay, so then we get to there. Double checking the calculations here. Oops. So 4.9 times 6 is that, and 4.9 times 9 is that. Okay, so we're good. And so yeah, the last step is these are like terms. We have to clean those up. So let's rewrite it. Like that with 5.9, okay? Right, so that is our lesson today on going from the vertex form to the standard form. Okay, so if you can get it to there, then you are successful. Okay, so if you need to practice a bit more, try the worksheets and then hand in the chapter point. Okay.